Am I close enough to you?
Think so. We're making this video to tell the story about our stay in Mexico from October 2023 until June 2024.
8 months in Mexico City, not the Mexico people tend to think of. Cancun. No, Mexico City.
So what was the reason of our arrival?
So in October, we had planned to come here for 2 reasons. One, you had a bucket list of mountains to climb, including Pico de Orizaba, which is not far, relatively speaking, from Mexico City. The other main reason was we were also going to attend your friend's wedding, which was in Morelia.
That's true.
So that was the reason why we came here.
Yeah, and initial plan was to stay here for no longer than maybe for 2-3 weeks maximum and then go home.
Then go to Canada, where we expected to have a visa by then. So you traveled with literally all of your belongings.
Yeah, I had 2 suitcases and my guitar. Now I have only 1 suitcase and a guitar because we are donating part of our stuff traditionally to local people. But let us tell the story. So first of all, how we traveled. Me and Misha from Brussels, we missed 2 flights. For the first time in my life, it happened for different reasons. I'm not sure if I want to share it because it's so embarrassing. Anyway, the plan was to climb Iztaccíhuatl. This is the peak before Orizaba. To climb all together. Mel was flying from Toronto. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to fly from Brussels, but we missed our 2 flights. And in the meantime, Mel climbed Iztaccíhuatl. Maybe you want to tell a few words about that.
Yeah, well, of course I was disappointed that the boys never showed up, but the excursions were already booked, paid for, unable to cancel. And on top of it, it was a good acclimation hike. Because Orizaba is quite high, it was a good opportunity to acclimate, let's say, because the last time I was over 5,000 meters was in 2019 at Everest Base Camp. So I went along with the group. We drove for 1 day, essentially. We camped and then woke up at midnight and did an alpine start. So hiked up throughout the night through sunrise. It was beautiful. There was only a little bit of glacier. We had to use crampons. That was my first time using them. But it was a long day. I think we were hiking for, well, actually, I don't know. It was long. It might have been 10 hours or something, maybe 12. Anyway, it was beautiful. By the time I came back down and drove back to the city, I was greeted by you and your brother. So
we arrived, yeah. We missed this opportunity to
acclimate.
To acclimate, and that's why, 1 day after that, we started moving towards Pico de Orizaba base camp. We arrived, which is on the height 4,000 meters, right?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Maybe even more. I think it's higher.
So, and we arrived there in the evening. We were supposed to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, if I'm not mistaken, and start climbing to the peak, which is 5,650.
Which would be an all-time high for everyone on board.
Absolutely. And so we started. The first one who was off the game was Misha. Because it's easy to understand. It was his first climb ever, and
altitude sickness is real.
Oh yeah. And without acclimatization, it is a very bad idea. And we still actually had what's the name? The jet lag.
Oh yeah.
So it was we didn't succeed. Let's put it this way. Me and Misha, we reached 5,000 meters. And then the instructor made a decision to go back. So me, him, and one more instructor, we started as descending, and Mel and the main instructor, they continued their way to the peak. But
yeah, the only reason we were able to was because I had done Ista a few days prior. I went up, I came down. So, and I had a few days even in Mexico City, which is at 2,200 meters.
Yeah.
So I had acclimation on my side. This was kind of the only thing. But we proceeded. It was real glacier. This was like, well, I mean, the point that we're telling this story is because we want to share some of the footage that we've gathered, even though it was an unsuccessful trip. But this glacier was steep, and the weather turned so poor so fast. Zero visibility, really high winds. I could not see just my instructor in front of me. I couldn't see the peak, which was apparently only 60 meters away.
Well, he said you didn't reach, like you were 50 meters away.
50 meters away. 50 meters away, but I couldn't even see it. So honestly, I didn't really care. Now I'm like, oh, that was so close. But honestly, I just trusted the instructor, and I said, like, if you think safety is an issue, no problem. I don't care. My ego isn't in it. Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever done. And on the way down, like, he was literally just showing me his GPS so that I can navigate where to step, because even the path that we had just made was erased.
So that was it. That was it. We fucked up. By the way, this was the reason why we didn't make any videos about it. Of course, initially the idea was to make and edit cool video about the ascent, but it never happened. Anyway, then there was a Ciudad de Mexico little tour. We've seen a few places. We've taken the guided tour. We've seen the ancient pyramids of Aztecas who lived here on this territory. We've seen the central part of the city. We also visited Nacho Libre, which is this famous fight.
Wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling here. And then we said goodbye to Misha, and we proceeded to Morelia, to the wedding. There, part of the wedding schedule, itinerary was visiting satellite towns of Morelia. So we spent some time in Salvador Escalante, Zirajuén, Pátzcuaro, y, attention, Tzintzuntzan. Okay, and we also made some videos of those places. There's nothing much to say about it because actually it was not our event. We are showing these places that we visited. And also we visited Dia de los Muertos. All those festivities were pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to say a few things about this because you were impressed more than anyone else by Dia de los Muertos.
Well, when we arrived, there was, in the small town we were staying in, there was a zombie parade. So a bunch of people dressed as zombies, walking like zombies down the road, but also, like, I would say almost attacking bystanders, trying to scare you. And some may have succeeded in scaring some people.
Yeah, and some people.
Yeah.
Also, part of this Dia de los Muertos celebrations was mariachi at the cemetery.
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty uncommon thing to witness, as you can imagine. Like bunch of mariachis, like different bands playing at the cemetery late at night, and the cemetery is covered with candles.
And this orange flower.
Yeah, and these
everywhere.
orange flowers, which we called chornobrytsi. I think this is what they are actually. It's in Ukrainian, our famous flower. And it was completely crowded, like
a party in the cemetery.
Absolutely, no
Actually,
exaggeration.
a lineup to get into the cemetery, like you were going into a club or something.
Yeah, I wonder if I made some footage.
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we will.
So you can have a look.
But it was crazy. Like you don't see such a thing every day. Next stage, we attended the concert in November of Paul McCartney. We made a video about it. Of course, it was a very special event for me. And
for me.
And for you, right? Mel fell in love with this old but cute man.
I did.
Okay. Uh,
We continued after that concert. We had a little taste of live music again, and
All right.
there was Corona Capital, which is an outdoor music festival for like a 3-day festival, let's say. And actually, the previous summer when we were in Brussels, we attended a music festival, which was actually my first music festival ever. I didn't know how I would fare. This time we came in with a little bit more experience, and we were very selective on, I would say intentional on who we planned to see, so we didn't spend the whole day there.
3 main artists that we wanted to see. The first one, Mel introduced me to her.
From Canada, Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's a great performer, great musician. I was impressed. Maybe not as much as Mel, but it was a good show. Maybe you want to say a few things about Alanis Morissette?
Well, it was just like
Blast from the past.
blast from the past. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
The next day, the headliners for us were the Black Keys, the guys that I saw for the first time at Rock Werchter in Belgium, summer 2023. I was so impressed. Such a cool rock and roll band.
Yeah, they were cool.
And day 3 top artist for us was Noel Gallagher.
Which we saw his brother also the previous year. Now I have to say,
The same year.
Oh yeah, the same year.
Because it was summer 2023 in Belgium
it was like 6 months ago.
and autumn 2023 in Mexico.
Well,
So yeah,
anyway.
these 2 brothers who once created Oasis, maybe one day there will be a reunion. But
I
anyway,
hope not, because Liam is shite, and I don't want to see him ever again.
shall we cut it? I'm not sure. Anyway, that was a great band, and maybe someday we will see the reunion. If not, it is ticked off from our bucket list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Then since there was no visa, still we settled into a routine in Ciudad de Mexico. We did some very boring things like study. We waited for visa. We lived basically normal life. Next,
Yeah. So we had normal life, normal routine.
normal routine in Ciudad
Going
de
to the
Mexico.
gym. We were living in a what I would call a Mexican mansion, but we had roommates, so that
Yeah.
was-
So in December we attended a Christmas symphonic concert and at Zocalo Square. Zocalo Square. This is how it sounds. And it is the main square of the city. It is, by the way, one of the biggest squares of the cities in the world.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it is the second big square after the one in Beijing. Yeah, so it's huge. We were listening to, what do you think? Nutcracker of Piotr Tchaikovsky in the heart of Mexico. And it was beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
It was a free concert, but the music, of course, is great.
Yeah.
What else did we do? In January, we did hiking to Nevado de Toluca. We have a video
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Then, what was it? February, we did nothing much. In March, we did 10K race
You did.
around Teotihuacan. By the way, we did mention that in October with Misha, we visited those pyramids. There was air balloon tour, and it was beautiful, pretty impressive. We also have a video about that in March. What happened next? April, routine, May, anything memorable?
You had a birthday.
Okay.
What else? We did another hike.
Uh-huh.
We went to Pico de Aguila.
Uh-huh.
This time just you and me. No guides, no stupid tours, no
people.
people. That was the best part, because
Yeah.
Nevado de Toluca was crowded. Honestly, very crowded. So yeah, Pico de Aguila.
Yes, it was in May. Now we are making this video in June. Today is 25th of June. We are leaving this place in 2 days, on the 27th. And tonight we have a special occasion, special event.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling? What?
Oh, you look nice.
Ah, thank you. Maybe you want to say something about the special occasion that we will attend in a few hours.
Yeah. So we're having a date night. We're going to see Jordan Peterson, who is like
Oh.
my equivalent of your Aristovich, you know?
Aristovich, yeah.
This is kind of it's the Canadian equivalent. And it's somebody that we discuss his ideas, his lectures, his books for the last few years together. And we were so excited to see that he's on tour again, promoting his new book. And you get to see him now too, which is so cool in Mexico City. Who
would think?
Who would think? So we're going to one of the big concert halls here tonight.
Which is called Auditorio Nacional. We will try to make some footage of it as well, if they allow.
Well,
and the name of the lecture is?
We Who Wrestle with God, which is the name of his new book.
Okay.
And
we're ready to move on.
And the bags are packed.
Yeah.
I mean, your bag, my bags.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time to leave this place because, well, honestly, we've had enough.
We've had enough. Unfortunately, we cannot travel together to Canada because Canadian government still is trying to make a decision whether to give me a visa or not. So I'm going to Brussels to reunite with my brother. Mel is going to Toronto, but that's another story.